The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a transformative work that explores the concept of living fully in the present moment. The book focuses on the importance of spiritual awakening and how the present moment is the gateway to inner peace, joy, and personal growth. It delves into how the mind and ego often distract individuals from experiencing the present fully, causing unnecessary suffering. This summary will break down the book's key themes and ideas, offering insight into how to embrace the power of now to create a more fulfilling and peaceful life. Introduction to the present moment. The core message of The Power of Now is that the present moment is all that truly exists. Tolle emphasizes that much of human suffering arises from living in the past or worrying about the future, neither of which are tangible in the here and now. Most people, he explains, are constantly either reliving past experiences or anticipating future events, which leads them to miss out on the peace and beauty that is always available in the present moment. By learning to live in the present, individuals can break free from this cycle of mental distractions and find true contentment. Tolle discusses how many people live unconsciously, allowing their thoughts and emotions to control them rather than becoming aware of the present. The present moment, according to Tolle, is where peace, fulfillment, and enlightenment reside. By learning to let go of mental patterns and emotional reactions, individuals can align themselves with the power of now, the ego, and the pain body. One of the central themes of the book is the idea of the ego. The ego is the false self that people identify with, often based on their past experiences, social status, and external achievements. Tolle explains that the ego is a mental construct that separates people from their true, inner essence. It constantly seeks validation, approval, and recognition, often leading to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. The pain body, another key concept introduced in the book, refers to the accumulation of emotional pain from past experiences. Tolle suggests that many people are unconsciously dominated by their pain bodies, which feed on negative emotions and perpetuate suffering. These emotional wounds can manifest as fear, anger, or sadness, and they often distort one's perception of reality, preventing individuals from living in the present moment. Tolle describes the process of awakening as one of detaching from the ego and the pain body. To do this, individuals must learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without identifying with them. This shift in awareness allows the present moment to emerge as the primary focus, offering peace and a sense of liberation from the patterns of the mind. Becoming the observer. One of the key practices that Tolle advocates in the book is the concept of becoming the observer. This means becoming aware of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without identifying with them or getting caught up in them. Instead of reacting automatically to thoughts or emotions, individuals can take a step back and observe them as if they were separate from their true self. Tolle explains that by observing the mind, individuals can begin to create space between themselves and their thoughts. This space is the gap that allows the present moment to emerge. The more one practices being the observer, the more one becomes detached from the ego and its compulsive thought patterns. In this state of awareness, individuals can experience a deep sense of peace and stillness. The observer is not the thinking mind, it is the awareness that watches the mind. By cultivating this state of awareness, individuals can become less reactive to their thoughts and emotions, allowing them to experience life more fully and more mindfully. The role of the mind and thought. Tolle does not advocate for the elimination of thought entirely but encourages a shift in how one relates to it. The mind, in its natural state, is not inherently bad. It is when the mind is dominated by the ego or trapped in thought patterns related to the past or future that it becomes problematic. The key, Tolle explains, is to bring conscious awareness to the mind so that one can see it for what it is, a tool that can be used effectively or allowed to run uncontrolled. Thoughts, according to Tolle, are often like a stream of random occurrences, but most people do not realize they can choose to let go of them. Instead, they become identified with their thoughts and start believing that they are their thoughts. This is a primary source of suffering. The practice of becoming the observer helps individuals disengage from the stream of thoughts and stop identifying with them. Tolle introduces the idea of mental noise, which is the constant chatter in the mind. He explains that when one is trapped in this mental noise, it prevents them from fully experiencing the present moment. By quieting the mind and focusing on the present, individuals can tap into the stillness that lies beneath the surface of thoughts. The importance of acceptance. Another essential concept introduced in The Power of Now is the importance of acceptance. Tolle suggests that individuals should accept the present moment as it is, without resistance. Resistance to the present moment only creates suffering. When people resist what is happening in the present, they create mental and emotional turmoil. Acceptance, on the other hand, allows one to embrace whatever is unfolding, knowing that it is part of the flow of life. Tolle stresses that acceptance does not mean passivity or complacency. Instead, it means being at peace with the present moment and allowing things to unfold naturally. When people accept what is, they can approach life with a sense of equanimity, regardless of external circumstances. Acceptance is about letting go of the need to control everything and allowing life to happen as it is, living in alignment with the present moment. Tolle's teachings guide readers to align themselves with the present moment by becoming more aware of the mind and letting go of the ego's dominance. Through practices such as mindfulness and meditation, individuals can cultivate the awareness needed to stay grounded in the present. The more they practice these techniques, the more they will begin to experience peace and stillness. In this part of the book, Tolle also explores how individuals can begin to bring the power of now into everyday life. Whether in personal relationships, work, or social interactions, the key is to be fully present in each moment. By letting go of mental distractions and engaging fully with whatever is happening, individuals can transform every aspect of their lives. Awareness of the body. A key concept that Tolle introduces in this section is the practice of becoming aware of the body. For many individuals, the body is something that is often taken for granted. People are often disconnected from their physical form, focusing instead on the mind or external circumstances. Tolle suggests that by paying attention to the body and developing a sense of body awareness, individuals can anchor themselves in the present moment and experience a profound sense of peace. Tolle explains that the body is an integral part of the present moment. He encourages readers to bring their attention to their physical sensations, observing how they feel and noticing the sensations that arise. By doing so, individuals can begin to quiet the mind and feel the energy of the present moment within their body. This practice can also help individuals become more grounded, as the body is a direct link to the now. Whether sitting, walking, or lying down, Tolle suggests that one can always bring awareness to the body, allowing it to serve as a vehicle for presence, surrender to the now. Another central theme in this part of the book is the concept of surrender. Tolle does not mean surrender in the sense of passivity or giving up on life's challenges. Instead, surrender is about accepting the present moment as it is, without resistance or judgment. Resistance to what is, he argues, causes suffering. When individuals struggle against the reality of the present, they create an internal conflict that perpetuates pain and unhappiness. True surrender, Tolle explains, is about letting go of the need to control and trying to manipulate life in a way that fits our mental preferences. When people accept what is, they stop fighting against the flow of life and allow themselves to experience life as it unfolds. This surrender is not about becoming passive, but rather about becoming deeply aligned with the present. When people let go of resistance, they tap into a state of inner peace and serenity, regardless of external circumstances. Tolle emphasizes that surrender does not mean giving up your goals or aspirations. Instead, it's about not attaching to specific outcomes or allowing the mind to resist life's unfolding. When people practice surrender, they open themselves up to greater spiritual awakening and can experience the flow of life with less friction. The concept of the pain body, which was introduced in the first section of the book, plays a central role in understanding how individuals become trapped in suffering. Tolle explains that the pain body is an accumulation of past emotional wounds that continue to influence an individual's thoughts and actions. These wounds often stem from past trauma, negative experiences, or unresolved emotions, and the pain body feeds on negative thoughts, anger, and resentment. The pain body is not just a mental construct, it also has a physical component. Tolle suggests that when the pain body is activated, it can cause individuals to feel intense emotional reactions, such as anger or sadness, that seem disproportionate to the current situation. In many cases, the pain body is triggered when an individual's ego is threatened, and it leads to a cycle of unconscious emotional reactions. Tolle teaches that the way to break free from the pain body is through awareness. By becoming aware of when the pain body is active, individuals can observe it without identifying with it. This allows them to create space between themselves and their emotional reactions. Rather than getting lost in the emotional intensity, they can let it pass without attaching to it. Over time, this awareness weakens the power of the pain body, leading to greater emotional freedom and inner peace. The art of presence. Tolle emphasizes that the key to spiritual awakening is presence, the ability to be fully aware and present in the moment, without being lost in thought or distracted by the past or future. He argues that the mind and its incessant thinking are the primary obstacles to experiencing presence. People often become so absorbed in their thoughts that they lose touch with the simplicity and beauty of the present moment. In this section, Tolle provides practical advice on how to cultivate presence in daily life. One of the key practices is mindfulness, paying attention to whatever you are doing in the moment, whether it's eating, walking, or interacting with others. He explains that presence can be experienced in any situation, even in the most mundane tasks, if one brings full attention to the act at hand. Tolle also highlights the importance of inner stillness in achieving presence. Stillness is not simply the absence of noise or distraction, it is a deep inner peace that comes from being fully aligned with the present. When individuals experience inner stillness, they are able to perceive the world more clearly and experience a sense of oneness with life itself. Time and the illusion of the past and future. A major theme throughout The Power of Now is the illusion of time. Tolle explains that time, as we typically understand it, past, present, and future, is a mental construct. The past and future exist only in the mind, and when people focus on these constructs, they lose touch with the present moment. The past, filled with memories and experiences, can be a source of pain and regret, while the future is often filled with worry and fear. Both of these mental constructs pull individuals away from the only time that truly exists, the present. Tolle teaches that the key to overcoming the grip of time is to embrace the now fully. The present moment is timeless, and it is only when we align ourselves with it that we can experience true freedom. By letting go of the need to dwell on the past or obsess about the future, individuals can live fully in the moment and access the deep peace and presence that reside there. Living without judgment. Another powerful concept introduced in this section is the idea of living without judgment. Tolle suggests that the mind often judges everything it encounters, people, situations, and experiences, through the lens of the ego. Judgment creates separation and reinforces the ego's sense of superiority or inferiority. This constant judging of life, he argues, prevents people from experiencing the beauty and perfection of the present moment. Living without judgment means accepting things as they are, without labeling them as good or bad. This doesn't mean being passive or indifferent, but rather observing things without attaching a story or judgment to them. By doing so, individuals can experience life in its purest form, without the distortion of the ego's judgments. The role of relationships in spiritual awakening. Tolle discusses how relationships, whether romantic, familial, or professional, play a significant role in spiritual awakening. Relationships often serve as mirrors that reflect back to us aspects of our ego and pain body. While relationships can bring joy and fulfillment, they can also trigger negative emotions, such as anger, jealousy, or fear, which arise from the ego's attachment to a specific identity or outcome. Tolle emphasizes that the purpose of relationships, from a spiritual perspective, is not just to fulfill personal desires or to achieve happiness. Instead, relationships offer an opportunity to practice presence and to see through the ego's illusions. By being present in a relationship, individuals can transcend the drama of their emotions and connect more deeply with the other person in a state of pure consciousness. He encourages individuals to use their relationships as tools for self-awareness and growth. When both people in a relationship are consciously aware of their egos and pain bodies, they can avoid conflict and deepen their connection. Relationships, when approached from a place of presence, can help individuals dissolve the boundaries of the ego and experience unity with others. The importance of inner stillness. A central theme throughout The Power of Now is the idea of inner stillness. Tolle teaches that inner stillness is the foundation of spiritual awakening. It is a state of consciousness where the mind is quiet and the individual is fully present in the moment, free from the distractions of thought. Inner stillness is not the absence of activity but the absence of mental noise. To cultivate inner stillness, Tolle suggests engaging in practices such as meditation or simply focusing on the breath. These practices help individuals quiet the mind and create space for the present moment. The stillness that arises from these practices allows individuals to access deeper levels of awareness and consciousness. Tolle also points out that stillness is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It arises naturally when one surrenders the need to control the mind and allows life to unfold. This stillness is always present beneath the surface of thought, and when individuals tune into it, they can experience profound peace and clarity. The process of enlightenment. Enlightenment, as described by Tolle, is the realization of one's true nature beyond the ego and the mind. It is not an intellectual concept or a goal to be achieved, but a direct experience of the present moment. Enlightenment occurs when an individual becomes fully awake to the reality of the now and recognizes that they are not their thoughts or emotions. Tolle explains that enlightenment is not a permanent state of being but an ongoing process of awakening. As individuals become more aware of the present moment, they gradually dissolve the layers of the ego and the pain body, allowing them to experience more peace and joy. However, the mind will continue to try to pull them back into its grip, and the process of awakening requires continued vigilance and awareness. The journey to enlightenment is not linear, and there may be periods of resistance or doubt. However, Tolle emphasizes that the key is to remain anchored in the present moment, regardless of external circumstances or internal challenges. The more one practices presence and stillness, the more one will experience the transformative power of enlightenment. The importance of letting go. Letting go is another essential concept in The Power of Now. Tolle explains that in order to experience the power of the present moment, individuals must let go of their attachments to the past and the future. These attachments, whether to memories, desires, or expectations, prevent individuals from fully embracing the now. Letting go means releasing the mental and emotional baggage that weighs us down and opens the door to freedom. Tolle emphasizes that letting go is not about forcing yourself to relinquish control or suppressing emotions. Instead, it is about surrendering to the flow of life and allowing things to unfold naturally. When individuals let go of their attachment to specific outcomes, they create space for new possibilities and experiences to emerge. Letting go also involves releasing the need to identify with the ego. The ego is always seeking validation, control, and recognition, and these attachments lead to suffering. By letting go of the ego's demands, individuals can align themselves with the present moment and experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Overcoming the mind's resistance. Tolle acknowledges that the mind often resists the practice of presence and stillness. The ego's tendency is to remain in control, constantly seeking external validation or focusing on the future or past. This resistance can manifest as mental chatter, fear, or doubt, and it often pulls individuals away from the present moment. Tolle suggests that when resistance arises, individuals should not engage with it or try to fight it. Instead, they should acknowledge it and return to the present moment. By remaining aware and not identifying with the mind's resistance, individuals can gradually break free from the ego's grip and experience greater freedom and peace. Resistance often comes from the desire to control or manipulate life's outcomes. However, Tolle teaches that true peace comes from surrendering control and accepting life as it is. This acceptance does not mean passivity but rather being in harmony with the flow of life. When individuals stop resisting what is, they can experience a profound sense of inner peace and joy. The role of nature and the environment. Tolle also highlights the importance of nature and the environment in spiritual awakening. Nature, he explains, has the power to bring individuals into the present moment. Whether through the sight of a sunset, the sound of birdsong, or the feeling of the wind on one's skin, nature serves as a reminder of the beauty and simplicity of the present. Tolle encourages individuals to spend time in nature and to use it as a tool for grounding themselves in the present moment. The natural world is a reflection of the underlying stillness and peace that is always available in the now. By observing nature and connecting with its rhythms, individuals can cultivate a sense of oneness with the world around them and deepen their spiritual awareness. Integrating the power of now into daily life. Tolle concludes this section by offering practical advice for integrating the power of now into daily life. He emphasizes that the key to living in the present moment is not to escape from the world but to engage with it more fully. This means being present in every task, conversation, and experience, whether mundane or extraordinary. Tolle suggests that individuals can practice presence by bringing awareness to simple activities, such as eating, walking, or listening. By paying full attention to these activities and letting go of distractions, individuals can experience the joy and peace of the present moment. Additionally, Tolle encourages individuals to take time each day for meditation or mindfulness practices, which help cultivate awareness and stillness. The realization of the true self. In this section, Tolle emphasizes that the true self is not the mind or the body, but a deeper, formless consciousness that exists beyond the ego. The mind, with its constant stream of thoughts, and the body, with its emotions and physical sensations, are transient and temporary. The true self, on the other hand, is eternal, unchanging, and deeply connected to the present moment. Tolle explains that the realization of the true self is a gradual process that happens as individuals become more aware of their inner stillness. When people stop identifying with their thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, they begin to experience a deeper sense of being that transcends these temporary aspects of existence. This true self is not bound by time or space and is beyond the ego's need for validation or achievement. The realization of the true self is a profound awakening that allows individuals to experience a deep sense of peace, joy, and freedom. It is the recognition that they are not separate from the universe but are part of an interconnected whole. As individuals become more aligned with their true self, they experience life with greater clarity, compassion, and wisdom, embracing the present moment fully. Tolle stresses that the key to spiritual awakening is not just intellectual understanding but the ability to live fully in the present moment. This means letting go of the mind's tendency to dwell on the past or future and instead immersing oneself completely in the now. The present moment is where life truly exists, and it is only by embracing the present that individuals can experience their true nature. Tolle offers several practices to help individuals stay anchored in the present moment. One of the most powerful tools is to bring awareness to the breath. The breath is always in the present moment, and by focusing on the breath, individuals can create a sense of stillness and presence. This practice can be done anytime, whether sitting, standing, or moving about in the world. When individuals focus on the breath, they become more aware of the body and the present moment. Another powerful practice Tolle recommends is to observe the world around you with complete presence. This means noticing the sights, sounds, and sensations without labeling them or getting lost in thought. Whether looking at a tree, listening to music, or simply walking down the street, individuals can practice being fully present to whatever they are experiencing. The power of now in challenging situations. One of the main challenges people face in maintaining presence is the tendency to react to difficult situations with fear, anxiety, or anger. Tolle acknowledges that it is easy to be present and peaceful when things are going smoothly, but it can be much harder when life presents difficulties. However, he teaches that it is precisely in these challenging situations that the power of now becomes most important. When individuals face adversity, their tendency is often to resist the situation, which only causes more suffering. However, Tolle emphasizes that by accepting the present moment as it is, without judgment or resistance, individuals can maintain inner peace even in the most difficult circumstances. This acceptance is not about passivity or resignation but about aligning with the flow of life as it is happening. Tolle encourages individuals to remember that all emotions, no matter how intense or challenging, are temporary. By observing them without attaching to them, individuals can allow difficult emotions to pass without being consumed by them. This practice of detachment helps individuals to remain anchored in the present moment and avoid getting lost in negative thinking. The end of the ego. As individuals continue their journey of spiritual awakening, Tolle explains that they will eventually reach a point where the ego's grip on their identity begins to loosen. The ego, which is the false sense of self created by the mind, is rooted in the belief that we are separate from others and the world around us. It is based on identification with thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, and it thrives on fear, desire, and the need for validation. Tolle teaches that the ego cannot be eradicated through force or resistance, but rather through awareness and presence. When individuals become aware of the ego's patterns and begin to live in the present moment, they gradually transcend the ego's hold over their lives. This does not mean the ego disappears entirely but that it no longer dominates an individual's sense of self. As the ego fades into the background, individuals experience a deeper connection to the universe and a greater sense of unity with all living beings. They begin to realize that their true nature is not defined by their thoughts or actions but by the consciousness that underlies all of existence. Spiritual awakening and the world. Tolle emphasizes that spiritual awakening is not about withdrawing from the world or becoming detached from life's responsibilities. Instead, it is about fully engaging with the world from a place of presence and awareness. When individuals live in the now, they can engage with the world in a way that is more compassionate, wise, and peaceful. Tolle also acknowledges that the world is often filled with chaos, conflict, and suffering. However, he teaches that spiritual awakening allows individuals to respond to these challenges with greater clarity and compassion. Rather than reacting out of fear or ego, spiritually awakened individuals can approach the world from a place of love and understanding. Tolle explains that spiritual awakening does not require individuals to isolate themselves or abandon their relationships or careers. Instead, it is about transforming the way one interacts with the world. By practicing presence in all aspects of life, individuals can bring more peace, love, and harmony to their relationships, work, and community. The importance of practicing presence. Tolle concludes the book by reiterating that spiritual awakening is not a one-time event but an ongoing practice. The key to living in the now is to continually return to presence, especially when the mind tries to pull individuals away. This practice of presence allows individuals to remain anchored in their true nature and experience greater peace, joy, and fulfillment. The more individuals practice presence, the more they will experience the transformative power of now. Tolle encourages readers to continue their journey of awakening by making presence a part of their daily lives. Whether through meditation, mindfulness, or simply bringing awareness to everyday activities, individuals can cultivate a deeper connection to the present moment and live a life of spiritual freedom.